Well, good evening, everyone. And today is, as you can tell, it's National Wear Your Ears Day. And as a Disney fanatic, and there's my hero Donald Duck right there. As a Disney fanatic, I had to wear my ears and had to find one that I thought would be really funny. And honestly, really some of my favorite ears are actually at school. The one with Mr. Wesner on them. So kind of sad that I left them there. But I was like, what can I wear today? And I thought, here we go. I'm wearing my Christmas ears. So, to anyone that's new to this channel, welcome. Hope everybody enjoys it. Today, if you're new, then hopefully you watched the previous reading I did last night, which was the first two chapters of Freckle Juice. Still was nice. Oh, she did leave me a bookmark in here. Thought she took that out for some reason. But we will begin. You say we're looking at, and he got the Freckle Juice. Oh, I see a few more people on there. Awesome. So if you want to, just throw up in the chat there. Don't throw up. That'd be gross. Just put in the chat that had a little message up there. Where you're from, or if you're new to here, or if you're one of my students, just say hello. I'd love to say hi and throw you a shout out or something over there. But let me see here. Before we get going, remember, like I put in the comments or in the chat over there, this is AR test number 262. So when you go to take an AR test, if you have the ability to take one at home, this is AR test number 262. And let's see if there's anything else. Oh, the album. Oh, then that means I must have Isabella, or let's see who else do I have. Oh, let's see anybody else. Okay. Here we go. Hey, this is Addie Shoulders. Addie Shoulders, knees and toes. Knees and toes. Yes! I miss you all so much. All my students in Morganfield, I really, really, really miss you. This is didn't know we were gonna be out this long, and it's kind of crazy. And yes, I've had fun with my family. I will say that's kind of been the coolest thing about this is we have gotten to spend more time, and you get to kind of slow down. I feel like I sleep better now. I feel like but I do miss everybody. There's Isabel. Let's see. Let's see. See Irene on there either. I don't know. Just her. But hello. Like I said, there's a massive shout out. Like I said, other people, if you are, if there's anybody else new or somebody's on here, if maybe you tune in later, leave a message in the comments. I always respond. I share this with other people. If you know other people that are that would like possibly enjoy some of these things, make sure you share it and they have them subscribe to the channel. Also, I will I thought I was gonna do it tomorrow. I guess it'll probably be Thursday. I do plan on doing like a kind of a surprise live chat, and maybe it happens tomorrow. I don't know. I'll just sit down a message and boom, pop on here and we'll just chat, and who knows, I'll probably go a little crazy and stuff. But let's see. Anyway, see if I kind of feel like this thing situated just right. Well, if everyone is ready, I think I will begin with part 2. Although it's not really 2 parts. I mean, look, this book's rather thin. But, got a thumbs up. Awesome. I'll start out with now this chapter 3 of Freckle Juice. Chapter 3. Here's some of our pictures. I'll show them after I read this page. Andrew ran all the way home. Then he remembered he had to go to Mrs. Burrow's house to get the key. The secret recipe for Freckle Juice was folded carefully in the bottom of Andrew's shoe. He was going to put it inside his sock, but he was afraid if his foot got sweaty, the ink might blur and he wouldn't be able to read it. So inside his shoe was safe enough. Even if it was windy, nothing could happen to it there. He made up his mind not to read it until he got home. He didn't want to waste any time getting there. And he wasn't the world's fastest reader anyway, even though he'd gotten better since last fall. There we go. And I'll look at it. He is seeing his mom where he's picking her up because she's playing cards. Still, there might be some hard words that would take a while to figure out. Andrew pressed Mrs. Burrow's doorbell. "Hello, Andrew," she said when she opened the door. "You're home from school early." "I ran all the way," Andrew panted. "How about some milk and cookies?" Mrs. Burrow asked. No, thank you. I just want the key." "Well, come in, Andrew. Your mother's in the living room." Andrew followed Mrs. Burroughs. His mother was dealing dealing 4 piles of cards. Hi, Mom. I came for the key. Manners, Andrew. Manners. Don't you say hello to all the ladies? Mrs. Marcus asked. Hey, there's Stella. She want to come by and say hi and interrupt the book. Um, oh, hello, Andrew said. Mrs. Marcus reached for her purse. She opened it and gave Andrew the key. Change your clothes and play outside. I'll be home by 4 o'clock. That only gave him an hour. He hoped the recipe didn't say to cook anything. He wasn't allowed to turn on the stove or the oven. Andrew dashed to his house, unlocked the front door, and took off his shoe as soon as he was inside. He pulled out the secret recipe and sat down on the floor and read it. It said, and here we go. And this is just a picture of it. I'll read it to you. Sharon's secret recipe for freckle juice. 1 glass makes an average amount of freckles. To get like Nikki Lane, drink 2 glasses. Mix up all these things together. Stir well and drink fast. Grape juice, vinegar, mustard, mayonnaise, juice from 1 lemon, pepper and salt, ketchup, olive oil, and a speck of onion. P.S. The faster you drink it, the faster you get freckles. Okay, that doesn't sound good. Yeah, that doesn't sound good at all. Andrew read the list twice. It didn't sound like much of a secret recipe. His mother used those things every day. Of course, she didn't use them all together. Maybe that was the secret part. Well, he'd paid 50 cents. He might as well find out. He climbed up on the kitchen counter so he could reach the cabinets. He found everything except the lemon. That was in the refrigerator. And the onion. Mrs. Marcus kept onions in the basement in a bin. Andrew ran downstairs and selected a small one, since the recipe only called for a speck. With or without the skin, Andrew wondered. He chose a big blue glass. He'd start with just 1 glassful and then drink another if he wanted more freckles. No point in overdoing it the first time. That's what his mother always said. Now, first the grape juice, Andrew thought. He filled the glass halfway and added an ice cube. All drinks tasted better cold, and he was sure this one would too. Then he added the other ingredients one by one. His mother had 2 kinds of vinegars, wine vinegar and plain vinegar. Andrew picked the wine one. He put in some hot mustard, 1 spoonful of mayonnaise, and plenty of salt and pepper. Then some ketchup. That was hard to pour. But what about olive oil? And there he is. Oh, it looks like he's just real comfortably making this, like he's some famous chef. This doesn't sound good at all. His mother had vegetable oil, but not olive oil. Maybe the stuff that looked like water in the olive jar was what Sharon meant. He put in a few spoonfuls of that. Now for the lemon. Andrew cut 1 in half and squeezed. Oh no, a seed popped in by mistake. He picked it out with his spoon. He hated pits in his juice. Now, all that he needed was that speck of onion, and he was all set. He stirred the drink and smelled it. Oh, woo! It smelled awful, just plain awful. He'd have to hold his nose while he drank it. He stuck his tongue into the glass to taste it. Ick! Terrible. He didn't know how he would ever manage to get it down. And fast, too. He said it said to drink it very fast. That old Sharon, she probably thought he wouldn't be able to drink it. Well, he'd show her. He'd drink it all right. Andrew held his nose, tilted his head back, and gulped down Sharon's secret recipe for freckle juice. He felt like throwing up. It was that bad. But if he did, he'd never get freckles. No, he would be strong. Andrew crept into his mother's bedroom. He didn't feel well enough to walk. He sat on the floor in front of the full-length mirror. He waited for something to happen. There he is. He's drinking it, trying to drink it. Chapter 4. Pretty soon something happened, all right. Andrew turned greenish and felt very sick. His stomach hurt. At 4 o'clock, Miss Marcus came home. Yoo-hoo! Andrew, where are you? She called. Andrew heard her, but he couldn't answer. He was too weak. He made a small noise. Andrew Marcus, is that you? His mother stood in the doorway of her bedroom. What are you doing in here? I told you to play outside. And why didn't you change your clothes? Didn't I say to change your clothes? Andrew made another noise. Mrs. Marcus looked. There he is. Yeah, he's not looking too hot. Freckles might be the least of his worries. Mrs. Marcus looked at his face. Andrew, you're green, absolutely green. Are you sick? Andrew nodded. He was afraid if he opened his mouth, he'd lose the freckle juice. What hurts? Mrs. Marcus asked, feeling his forehead. Andrew moaned and held his stomach. Oh my, appendicitis? You must have appendicitis. I'm going to call the doctor. No, I'd better just drive straight to the hospital. No, I'll call the ambulance. Andrew shook his head, but his mother didn't notice. She said, Don't move. I'm going to the kitchen to the phone. I'll be right back. Andrew rolled around, moaning. Whoa. Mrs. Marcus came back to her bedroom in a hurry. Andrew Marcus, I'm just seeing that mess in the kitchen. Did you or did you not make something and eat it? Oh no, he forgot to clean up. Now she knew. Well, he didn't care. His stomach was killing him. Well, young man, I'm surprised at you. Surprised! Mrs. Burroughs offered you milk and cookies, and you refused. Then you came home and made yourself, and I don't know what you made, and scared me half to death, thinking you had appendicitis. I always thought you were more sensible, Andrew. I just can't believe it. Andrew closed his eyes. Now, young man, you are going to bed. Andrew thought that was the best idea he'd heard in a long time. Mrs. Marcus gave him 2 spoonfuls of pink stuff that tasted like peppermint. Then she tucked him into bed. Maybe the freckles would come out while he was sleeping. Right now, he didn't care much if they ever came out. He hated Sharon. She'd done it on purpose, just to get his 50 cents. He'd show her. She'd be sorry someday. He drifted off to sleep. He had terrible dreams. A big green monster made him drink 2 quarts of freckle juice 3 times a day. Every time he drank it, the monster got freckles, but Andrew didn't. Andrew woke up sweaty. His stomach still felt funny. His mother gave him 2 more spoonfuls of that pink stuff, and he fell asleep again. The next day, Andrew stayed home from school. He only looked in the mirror once. No freckles! He wasn't surprised. At noon, he'd drink some hot tea. He wasn't ever going back to school. Sharon wasn't going to see him without freckles. She thought she was so great. Well, she wasn't going to get the chance to laugh at him. No, sir. But the following day, his mother woke him up and sang, Time for school, rise and shine. Don't forget to wash your neck and behind your ears. She pulled the covers off him. I'm not going to school today, Andrew said. I'm never going to school again. He hid his head under his pillow. So, I've got a school dropout in 2nd grade. Well, I will have to do something about that. Here are your clothes. I want to see you up and dressed before I count to 15, or you're going to take 3 baths a day, every day, for the next 10 years. Andrew got dressed. He ate a breakfast bun and drank some milk, but he couldn't let Sharon get away with it. He had to do something. Uh-oh. What do you think he's going to do? And there he is. There's his dream of that monster. What do you think he's going to do? Chapter 5. After breakfast, Andrew raced back to his bedroom. He opened his desk drawer and looked for a brown magic marker. All he could find was a blue one. It was getting late. Blue would have to do. He put the magic marker in his lunchbox and headed for school. He stopped 2 blocks before he got there. He studied his reflection in a car window. Then he took out the magic marker and decorated his whole face and neck with blue dots. Maybe they didn't look like Nicky Lane's freckles, but they sure looked like something. Andrew waited until the second bell rang. Then he hurried to his class and sat down. There he is. You can see him like taking out there he is looking in the window. There he is in class. Walking in. He's walking with his freckles. Anyway, it said he took out a book and tried to read it. He heard a lot of whispering, but he didn't look up. Miss Kelly snapped her fingers. Let's settle down, children. Stop chattering. Everybody giggled. What's so funny? Just what is so funny? Lisa, can you tell me the joke? Lisa stood up. It's Andrew, Miss Kelly. Just look at Andrew Marcus. Stand up, Andrew. Let me have a look at you, Miss Kelly said. Andrew stood up. Good heavens, Andrew! What have you done to yourself? I grew freckles, Miss Kelly, that's what. Andrew knew his blue dots looked silly, but he didn't care. He turned towards Sharon and stuck out his tongue. Sharon made a frog face at him. Miss Kelly took a deep breath. I see, she said. You may sit down now, Andrew. Let's get on with your morning work. At recess, Nicky Lane turned around and said, Who ever heard of blue freckles? Andrew didn't answer him. He sat in class all day with his blue freckles. A couple of times Miss Kelly looked at him kind of funny, but she didn't say anything. Then at 2 o'clock, she called him to her desk. Andrew, Miss Kelly said, how would you like to use my secret formula for removing freckles? Her voice was low. Unlike what I just did, her voice was low, but not so low that the class could hear her. For free, Andrew asked. Oh, yes, Miss Kelly said. For free. Andrew scratched his head and thought it over. Miss Kelly took a small package out of her desk. She handed it to Andrew. Now, don't open this until you get to the boys' room. Remember, it's a secret formula, okay? Okay, Andrew said. He wanted to run to the boys' room, but he knew the rules. No running in the halls, so he walked as fast as he could. He couldn't wait to see what was in the package. Could there really be such a thing as freckle remover? As soon as he was inside the boys' room, he unwrapped the package, and there was a note. Andrew read it. It said, Turn on water, wet magic freckle remover, and rub into face. Rinse. If magic freckle remover does not work first time, try again. 3 times should do the job. Miss Kelly. Ha! Miss Kelly knew. She knew all the time. She knew his freckles weren't really freckles, but she didn't tell. Andrew followed Miss Kelly's directions. The magic freckle remover formula smelled like lemons. Andrew had to use it 4 times to get his freckles off. Then he wrapped it up and walked back to his classroom. Miss Kelly smiled. Well, Andrew, I see it worked. Yes, Miss Kelly, it sure did. You look fine now, Andrew. I think you're a very handsome boy without freckles. You do? Yes, I do. Miss Kelly, Nicky Lane called out, raising his hand and waving it all around. What is it, Nicky? Miss Kelly asked. Could I use your magic freckle remover? Could I, Miss Kelly? I hate my freckles. I hate every single one of them. Andrew couldn't believe it. How could Nicky hate his freckles? They were so neat. Nicky, Miss Kelly said, Andrew didn't look good with freckles, but you look wonderful. I'd hate to see you without them. They're part of you. So I'm going to put away this magic formula. I hope I never have to use it again. Well, Andrew thought she'd never have to use it on him. He was through with freckles. When the class lined up to go home, Andrew heard Sharon whisper to Nicky, I know how to get rid of them. Get rid of what? Nicky asked. Your freckles. You do? Sure. The secret recipe for removing freckles has been in my family for years. That's how come none of us have any. I'll sell it to you for 50 cents. Then Sharon walked up alongside Andrew. Before Andrew could say a word, Sharon made a super duper frog face at him. Blah. The end. Well, those kids know how to get into some trouble. I wouldn't trust Sharon. I think she's kind of up to something. If she came to me saying, hey, I've got a secret recipe, I think I would kind of cut and run. I hope everyone enjoyed that. That's a fun book. Older but fun. See, go. This is what I love. Go and find an older book. We're at home right now. We're gonna be at home for a little while. Instead of watching the same movie, instead of seeing this, like, which I love Moana, but instead of watching something like Moana, which just came out, which is just in the theater, see if you can find one of those older Disney movies that you've never seen before. That would be something good to do. If you've got Disney Plus, which I love Disney Plus, look on there for the older ones. The things that you've never seen, you'd be surprised. I'm telling you, some of the old Herbie the Love Bug movies, are some of my favorites. Anything with Don Knotts, go for that. Well, with that being said, I hope everybody enjoyed this 2-part series. Tomorrow I'll probably return with another like just quick book to read. But as for today, hope you enjoyed it. And if you're in Morganfield tomorrow, you're a Morganfield Elementary student, I hope to see you tomorrow. We're going on our parade. Go to our Facebook page and you'll see what our route is going to be. Other than that, you'll have a great night and bye.